Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. Do you ever hear an idea that's just like so stupid you have no idea how the person that said it came up with it at all? I know on my channel I'll probably say some stuff that you don't agree with from time to time. It's just the nature of the basketball world. But just sometimes a certain statement said, it's like, how could anybody possibly agree with this whatsoever, man? Broussard, who is an NBA analysis, went on the record to say that the Houston Rockets... No, man. He said, yeah, the Houston Rockets need to call up the Philadelphia 76ers and offer up Chris Paul in exchange for Ben Simmons. I'm sorry, man, but as soon as you bring that bullshit my way, the Philadelphia 76ers, I'm looking at that, I'm taking the call, I'm hanging that thing up, and I'm freaking throwing the phone away. I'm getting a whole new number. I'm leaving the grid. I'm just never dealing with that front office ever again, man. I don't know from you guys in the comment section below. Do you see, like, any reason at all why the Philadelphia 76ers would even, like, attempt to do that type of trade? And not to mention, we're going to talk more about this in a second, but Ben Simmons and a Mike D'Antoni system, where really their big thing is shooting three-pointers, and not to mention the main ball handler is James Harden. Can you imagine Ben Simmons trying to freaking sag off in the corner, trying to play off James Harden? Man, you're playing a 4-on-5 basketball each time you're going down the corner on offense. So, for today's video, just out of the ridiculousness of this, I thought the scenario would be interesting to at least attempt to look at. So, yeah, we are going to be putting Chris Paul on the Philadelphia 76ers, and Ben Simmons is going to be going over to the Houston Rockets. We're going to simulate a season, see how it plays out. Now, as far as the rosters go, I didn't want to make any assumptions with what's going to happen this NBA offseason, so it is going to be the same exact rosters as this previous season, man. I just don't like making those assumptions until we actually know stuff that's going on, man. So, yeah, it's going to be Chris Paul operating with this team, and then, of course, Ben Simmons operating with this team. But before we do this, just out of curiosity, I want to go over to the trade finder, and I want to see what exactly type of trades the 76ers could expect to get for Ben Simmons if they made him available. Now, before we do this, if you guys could do me a quick favor, though, and please drop a like on this video. Only takes a second of your time, man, and really helps the channel out so much. Like, the support lately, guys, literally, man, my channel's doing awesome right now. You guys, so great for all you guys' help out there. So if you can please drop that like and continue that support, would be greatly appreciated. I almost had to bust out hoodie flakes for this one, but I decided to, hold him back for another time. So yeah, trade finder, Ben Simmons. Type of trades could we get for him? He's a guy that averaged, like, what was it, 17 points, 8-9 rebounds, 8-9 assists, 6'10". Of course, if he adds that three-point shot, can become one of the best players in the entire NBA. So, Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon, I already like that trade better than just getting Chris Paul, although you're not really getting a point guard in this case, which is kind of what the 76ers would be looking to do, is getting a shooting point guard to space the floor. Because I guess, the big issue is that Joel Embiid, who is dominant in the post, can't post up because, the guy that's guarding Ben Simmons always sags off and double teams Joel Embiid. So, that's really, I understand the reasoning. I just don't know if Chris Paul is the right move in this case, man, especially considering his age, injury-prone history, and his contract. So we get Lou Williams, Patrick Beverley, not bad. Mike Conley, right now, and I still think this is a garbage trade, although, again, the first-round pick definitely does help. But I would take Mike Conley over Chris Paul right now, man. I feel like he'd be a better fit, and he's only 31. John Collins, you don't really need a power forward, but not a bad trade. Josh Richardson, Goran Dragic, also not another bad little trade here, man. I mean, Goran Dragic's also a bit older, but also getting a young player in Josh Richardson, maybe to replace either a Jimmy Butler or a Tobias Harris or something like that, can make a little bit of sense. I can see the Charlotte Hornets doing a sign and trade of Kemba Walker, over to the 76ers. I would take him over Chris Paul right now without a doubt in my mind. Buddy Hield, Brandon Ingram, Tim Hardaway, Julius Randle, Kyle, I don't know, man, who you take right now, Kyle Lowry or Chris Paul? You guys let me know that in the comment section below. And then here, of course, is the trade. And honestly, man, this is probably the trade we're going to end up doing because, I don't think it would just be a straight up swap. I would see the Houston Rockets also having to let go of like an Eric Gordon to do so. But even that trade, it just doesn't make it fair, man. But that is the one we are going to be doing. Assuming other stuff will need to happen. Of course, that you can definitely have that discussion there. But here we go, man. And do all users accept this trade? Unfortunately, both teams agreed to the offer. Okay, so looking at the 76ers, we are looking at a lineup of Chris Paul, Eric Gordon, although I think J.J. Redick would still start because, of course, these two have history playing together on the Clippers, so that's some good chemistry right there. I do like the idea of Eric Gordon coming off their bench, no one providing them with some scoring. He can play some different positions out there. And then, of course, we got Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. I mean, it's going to be a good trade. It's going to be a good trade for Joel Embiid, just not playing with Ben Simmons. And that is, I don't know, it's so interesting to think about like how their future is going to play out together. Looking over here on the Houston Rockets, so you got, I guess, this probably would be your best bet, is going with Austin Rivers as a starter and using Ben Simmons at the 4 spot, because just like, you know, James Harden would still be the main ball handler, but that just is what was really bad about this, is that Ben Simmons needs to handle the basketball, or he's not going to do anything for your offense unless he's strictly playing down low. But even with that, man, it's like it's just not the era of basketball anymore. But I do think that's probably the best route to go based off the circumstances right here. So yeah, let's go ahead and simulate these seasons, and I'm going to kind of explain to you guys maybe some of the things that I think both these teams realistically need to do out there to be great. And I think as far as the Philadelphia 76ers, you know, man, it's like, I could see why the team would absolutely love Ben Simmons. I could see why the 76ers just like want to keep him around, because he does everything right out there besides the shooting. But there needs to come a point where the coach needs to hold him responsible and say, hey, Ben, you do a lot of great things for our team, but just attempt a bitch-ass three-point shot. Just shoot like a 1 or 2 a game. Even if you don't shoot them great, you're still going to like keep the offense or the defense a little bit more honest out there. So I understand that, man, but Ben Simmons just is not willing to adjust. I think that says a lot about him as a person, his attitude, and like, you don't want that, man. So I don't know, but I guess that the opportunity is out there to trade Ben Simmons for a guard, you know, definitely younger than Chris Paul and in a better contractual situation. Maybe you definitely do see that, but I don't think there's any guard in the NBA that's not a superstar that I would just trade Ben Simmons straight up for. Like, if it was for like a Russell Westbrook or a Damian Lillard or a Stephen Curry, then yeah, you definitely have that talk out there. But even then, I don't see that happening. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just to get like a Mike Conley or a Chris Paul, you definitely got to get some more pieces for Ben Simmons, just solely based off his age, his current contract, things like that. Then meanwhile, for the Houston Rockets, you know, I don't know what the Houston Rockets can really do, because I mean, there's definitely teams that would take on Chris Paul. You know, I think there's some teams out there that would be willing to do that maybe have like some younger players that are still on rookie contracts, or, you know, just like their second round of contracts that's not quite that max when yet, that they would be able to take on a Chris Paul and make him like a third or fourth option on their team. That's definitely out there, but those situations, man, definitely few and far between. So yeah, I know people kind of get mad at me. They did in my rebuild, at least, when I brought up the idea of trading away Clint Capella. I'm sorry to say, it's just, and I think I said this wrong in my Rockets rebuild. I said that the issue with the Rockets is that they don't play like everybody else. That's not the case. They totally do, man. I mean, they shoot threes, they get to the basket. That's kind of what the NBA is now these days. What I meant by that statement, actually, is that the Houston Rockets don't have the right guys to play like how they want to play and how everybody else is playing. You know, it's like they just don't have the right guys to do that. I feel like Clint Capella kind of holds them back in that department. They have like no stretch big off their bench because, of course, you know, Kenneth Faried, I mean, yeah, he's tried to add the three-point shot, but it's just not really his thing out there. So I just think that what the Houston Rockets need to focus on doing is getting some veterans out there and maybe making a few small changes to just kind of optimize their lineups to play towards their style of basketball that they really want to play out there. I definitely think that would help them out a lot, man. So whether it means trading Chris Paul or not, I don't know. I just don't think a lot of teams are going to take on Chris Paul. So they might be stuck with them. And I think they knew that when they gave him this contract. It's like they knew that eventually they wanted to go all in. But as far as Chris Paul goes, they kind of had to say, okay, well, we do know for like 2 or 3 seasons we're going to be, you know, paying a 34, 35-year-old injury-prone point guard, you know, $41 million a season. So I think they definitely knew that, but unfortunately they've run into the Golden State Warriors these past two postseasons, and that's really hurt them a lot, man. So in this case, though, we do have James Harden getting MVP, so playing with Ben Simmons looks like it worked out nicely for him. 32.6 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 steals, Trae Young Rookie of the Year. We got some more stats out there, okay? All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, with Joel Embiid making that, so that's important to note, and All-NBA third. So we are going to have to check out also how both teams did here. So the Rockets, 58-24, 76ers also the first seed. Maybe Chris Broussard is just a freaking genius, man. We don't know what we're talking about, right? They went 54-28. So let's check out these players' stats, starting with the Houston Rockets. Team stats on the season. Scoring-wise, they were the second best scoring team. And then defensively, looks like they were about top 10 for, right there as far as giving up points. And, what was the 76ers? They were 107. Okay, so they were a top defensive team. And then scoring-wise, they were 5th in the NBA right there. Player stats on the season. So Ben Simmons playing that kind of Lamar Odom-esque power forward position. You guys know what I'm talking about, man. You know, where it's like you're listed at the 4, but really you handle the ball a lot too. 17 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists per game, and 1 steal. And, yeah, still didn't shoot 3-pointers. Neither did Clint Capella. I don't know, man. That spacing going to be no bueno. I don't know, bro. It's not going to be good. But, hey, the record proves otherwise, I guess, right? So, yeah, that's fine for them. Looking at the 76ers, we got Joel Embiid at 20 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. Chris Paul, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists. Shot 37% from 3, which is also something else to know here, man. Is that like a little bit of spacing is going to help out Joel Embiid, although his points per game wasn't all that great, only 20 a game. I think he averaged, like, what was it, 24, 25 in real life. But, like, Chris Paul last season only shot, like, 35% from 3, so it's not like he's exactly lighting it up. But, I mean, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it's not like, oh, my God, we got this sharp-shooting point guard now that's going to put us over the edge. But, watch both these teams get to the finals and just call it good. I do like what Eric Gordon did, about 12 points per game, 2 assists. Just a very nice backup, man. I do like him. But here we go. First rounds. Both teams have the Utah Jazz against the Brooklyn Nets. So simulate current round here. See how it all plays out. I don't know, guys, let me know in the comment section below. Do you guys like these little, like, player swap trade scenarios? It's just, you know, in some cases where I just, like, hear things like this going on, I just feel the urge to make a video about it and talk about it. So Philadelphia beating Brooklyn in 7 games. Closeout game, we got Jimmy at 33, 25, and 13 for Joel Embiid. And then Chris Paul 16, 3, and 12 with 5 steals. Meanwhile, we got the Houston Rockets actually sweeping the Utah Jazz. Damn, bro. 51, 6, and 13 for James Harden. Triple-double for Ben Simmons. I guess the best thing about this is that, you know, Ben Simmons playing, being like a ball handler still at times, is that he's not really preventing anybody from dominating in the paint. Because, like, Clint Capella, yeah, he's got, like, a little bit of a hook shot, but he's not like Joel Embiid in the post where he's just going to eat you alive, man. So, I will say, like, it does, like, negate that at least. Here we go, simulate second round. Let's see if either of these teams can make it to the conference finals. Looks like they probably both will, although Houston's having some trouble there with Minnesota. And, wow, okay. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, Houston Rockets, they lost in Game 7. Or am I surprised by that? Probably not totally surprised. But, yeah, James Harden 23, 4, and 11. 20 for Ben Simmons. Meanwhile, Philadelphia swept the Orlando Magic 27 for Joel Embiid. We got Chris Paul at 11, 5, and 10. So they got Toronto next, simulate current round here, see if they get to the NBA Finals. Looks like it's going to be a pretty good series. We got Philly up 3-1, though, 3-2, and they are in the NBA Finals against the Portland Trailblazers. Here is this closeout game. And here we go, man. Simulate current round here, see who wins it. And it looks like it's going to be the Philadelphia 76ers trading Ben Simmons for Chris Paul, led to them getting the NBA championship. Joel Embiid, 26 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. And I'm not sure if even the contracts would work out in this case. But I will say, man, it is the perfect scenario for Chris Paul as a player, because he would be like that 4th option on the team. Because, of course, you got Joel, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris. It's a perfect situation for Chris Paul. I just don't think that it's worth the value of Ben Simmons. I really don't, man. But anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. As always, give me your guys' thoughts on this in the comment section below. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.